Hey everybody, we're going to start reading a read aloud called Flat Stanley. If you noticed in your baggie, you might have gotten a flat Miss Mallory. Well, now you have to figure out, why did you get this flat Miss Mallory? So as we start these read alouds on Flat Stanley, I'll be asking you to do different things with flat Miss Mallory. You might have a writing prompt. You might have to take a picture with flat Miss Mallory. There's a lot of different things we can do with this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do our first read aloud about Flat Stanley. This story is by Jeff Brown, and the pictures are by Scott Nash. Now remember, Jeff Brown wrote the words, so the author writes the words. The author writes the words. Hi, how did you know? The author writes the words. The illustrator draws the pictures. The illustrator draws the pictures. Hi, how did you know? The illustrator draws the pictures. All right, so let's get started on our chapter book and our new read aloud. I'm so excited. Look at our title page. Title page. I noticed this. This looks like a stamp. So let's infer. Maybe he gets shipped different places. Maybe he gets put in the mail. I don't know. I'm just making all kinds of predictions. I've never read this story, but I'm very excited and I'm starting to get lots of schema going. Chapter 1, The Big Bulletin Board. Breakfast was ready. I will go wake the boys, Miss Lambchop said to her husband, George Lambchop. Just then, their younger son, Arthur, called from the bedroom he shared from his brother, Stanley. Hey, come look. Hey! Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop were both very much in favor of politeness and careful speech. Hay is for horses, Arthur, not people, Mr. Lambchop said as they entered the bedroom. Try to remember that. Excuse me, Arthur said, but look! He pointed to Stanley's bed. Across it lay the enormous bulletin board that Mr. Lambchop had given the boys a Christmas ago so that they could pin up pictures and messages and maps. It had fallen during the night on top of Stanley. But Stanley was not hurt. In fact, he would still have been sleeping if he had not been woken up by his brother's shout. What's going on here? He called out cheerfully from beneath the enormous board. Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop hurried to lift it from the bed. Heavens, said Mrs. Lambchop. Gosh, said Arthur, Stanley's flat. As a pancake, said Mr. Lambchop. Darnest thing I ever seen. Let's all have breakfast, Mrs. Lambchop said. Then Stanley and I will go see Dr. Dan and hear what he has to say. In his office, Dr. Dan examined Stanley all over. How do you feel? He asked. Does it hurt very much? I felt sort of tickly for a while after I got up, Stanley Lambchop said, but I feel fine now. Well, that's mostly how it is with these cases, said Dr. Dan. We'll just have to keep an eye on this young fellow, he said, when he had finished the examination. Sometimes we doctors, despite all our years of training and experience, can only marvel at how little we really know. Mrs. Lambchop said she thought Stanley's clothes would have to be altered by the tailor now. So Dr. Dan told his nurse to take Stanley's measurements. Mrs. Lambchop wrote them down. Stanley was 4 feet tall and about a foot wide and half an inch thick. That is the end of chapter 1.